What is up, guys? Junior here with Custom Offsets TV and another episode of From the Inbox, where we take your questions that you either message us on Instagram, you message us on Facebook, you comment on YouTube, message us on Snapchat, you comment on Facebook videos, take them and answer them. And this week we're going over what causes wheel vibration and how to fix it. And also, if you haven't, make sure to subscribe. We're going at a 200,000 goal for YouTube, and maybe I'll dye my hair blonde and cut into a mullet. Who knows? Hit 200K and we'll see. So the first most common thing is when you buy aftermarket wheels, a lot of them are going to be dual drilled, and what that means is you're running two different bolt patterns on the same wheels that fit multiple vehicles. With that, the hub bore of the wheel, which is the center of the wheel here, will be bigger so that it can accommodate both vehicles. And with that, you're basically going to have a space, basically a big empty space between the hub of the wheel and the hub of the truck. So if you check this out, you can see where the hub of the spacer is, and you can see the hub of the wheel, and there's about a 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch maybe, space between the two. And what that'll cause on your truck is when you're tightening down the wheels, it may not sit perfectly centered because of the fact that it's not sitting up against the middle of the hub. So the easiest way to combat that is to pick up a Hubcentric ring. These come in all kinds of shapes, sizes, basically made for your vehicle, for the wheel to the truck, so that you don't have all that space in between there and room for air. A lot of people think that running a conical lug nut is going to help with that because it's rounded with your rounded lug holes, that you can just put those in and it'll kind of center it, but having these spacers in there is what's going to prevent that room for air starting from the center outwards. So you're not just putting in a lug nut and have all this space in the middle of the wheel still that's not getting filled, and so there's room for air to occur. So now the second thing you can do is pick up a set of spacers. And we've talked about this before in a lot of our spacer videos and adapter videos and all that fun stuff, but all of our spacers come Hubcentric. Now what that means is there's a Hubcentric ring in the middle of this that's basically made for your vehicle. It's super easy to get these customized any size that you need to fit your application. If we check this out here again like we did before, putting this up against the wheel, you can see that this one's not made for this wheel because there's a bunch of space here. So the other thing you can do is you just take a Hubcentric ring, put that on your spacer like so, and then this can bolt up to the wheel, and you can actually see that it sits perfectly flat. Then there is no space here, there's no gap, room for air, room for vibration. Because it's sitting up against the wheel, you bolt this down, you bolt it to the truck, you're good to go. So another thing that people don't necessarily think about is with your wheel and tire on your truck is that mud, snow, and ice can all get packed on the inside of there, and that can cause kind of an off-balance vibration as you're driving down the road as well. The easiest way to get that is to take the wheel off, clean off the back side of it if you're going through mud and all that stuff. Snow and ice, you can just take it to a car wash, spray it down with some hot water, it'll all melt and you'll be good to go. But that's something that a lot of people don't think about is they'll jump in their truck, they'll drive down the road, and they don't know why it's vibrating. Well, a lot of that could easily be snow, ice, and all that junk getting packed into the huge wheel lip or the back side of it and then causing vibration issues. So then on the subject of balancing, there's a lot of different ways you can balance wheels and tires, and some of them are good and some are not as good when you're getting into the bigger wheel and tire sizes. So one of the more popular ones for at least car tires is road force balancing, which basically it's a roller that has pressure on the tire as it rotates, and then it kind of simulates the pressure of a truck or a vehicle as you're driving, and then you can balance it from there. However, the issue with that is when you're getting up to your 35s, your 37s, your 38 bigger tires, they're not as accurate because you have so much rolling mass going that just putting these on a road force balancer isn't necessarily going to give you as accurate of a result as you'd be hoping for, and especially at the price point that they're at, it might not be the best option. So obviously using typical wheel weights is what we recommend, and it's the best way to get a true balanced wheel. However, if you're getting up into your 38 and bigger tire sizes, you're really running out of options because you have such a huge tire just rolling down the road that one of the most popular and only options out there then is the bead bag balancing. And basically what this does is it uses centrifugal force to take these beads and they roll throughout the tire. They find the low spots and they kind of balance it out then. However, at lower speeds, you might not notice them being as balanced as they could be due to the fact that there's not as much centrifugal force happening, there's not as much spinning, and the beads are just kind of floating in there, whereas at highway speeds and your county roads, your highways, all that fun stuff, the beads flow throughout the tire and they kind of just fill those spots in as they expand further out, and then they truly balance the tire due to it such being a huge size. It's kind of hard to get them perfectly balanced, but that's going to be your best bet on those 38-inch plus tires. So like I said, it's typical only for your 38-inch and bigger tires. Anything smaller than that, and we just recommend using typical wheel weights because it's going to be the best way to get you a truly balanced wheel and tire. So the last thing we'd have for your vibration issues with your wheels and tires is to rotate them. Sometimes the tire sitting where it is on the vehicle is just a bad spot, and it can be as simple as taking your rears, swapping them, rotating your fronts to your rears, rears to your fronts, and they might just sit better and then roll down the road better, not vibrate as much, and you'd be good to go. So if you've tried all of these things and you're still having vibration issues, chances are you could have some front end components that are wearing down. You don't want a ka-chow mod So basically, keep updated, make sure everything is good to go, wheel bearings, tire out ends, all of that stuff, suspension components. Try everything we suggested as well to prevent vibration. If you guys have any questions on vibration, or if you have something you want us to answer, drop them in the comments below. Cobb reads through all of these on all of our social media platforms. Also, like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe on the YouTube, youtube.com/CustomOfficeTV. Peace.